Okay, we're back. We just finished doing Area 16 with the counterbalance floor, sending you to your absolute death. So we're going to move on. Now, one thing that's very tricky is it's so easy to miss this. This is a real deal breaker for a lot of people. You may remember the description from Area 15 where we talked kind of rapidly through how there's a door and a trapdoor, a door and a trapdoor, a door and a trapdoor. This trapdoor, halfway down the pit, is the wall is painted to look like wall, but in reality, it's a trap door that comes into this area, right? And when you come into this area, it just goes down into here. So the only way to get beyond that is go through this and go through this door here to area 18, or find the secret door to area 17 here. Let's go ahead and talk about that area 17 next, okay? This is a magical secret door. This entrance is to the remainder of the tomb, and it's along the stair which leads down. You know, I don't like that song. I'm changing that in the background. You may not be able to hear this stuff, but I've got it pretty loud. I'm going to go back to this here. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Sorry for the distraction. Let's go back to the description here. So remember I said it was magical. The entrance to the remainder of the tomb is along the stairway which leads down. It can be found by any means, but nothing will enable it to be opened until the area is either viewed through a gem of seeing, summon spell, or detect magic spells used to pinpoint the magical aura. When the magic of the door is found, it will require dispel magic or remove curse to remove the guard which prevents the door from being opened. The guard being the way that prevents it from opening, not a person, not like a guard. Once accomplished, the secret door can be opened easily from the other side. This is something people probably never have encountered so far. You know, they're playing D&D for many years. They've never had to deal with any kind of like really crazy secret doors that only require certain spells. So there's a lot of rule breaker type stuff, but that's okay because Sirach is a demi-lich who used to be, I believe, like a magic user and a cleric. So these types of traps and tricks are supposed to be like hard, all right? That's part of the whole deal. Now, let's go down here. You see this green stuff that John has put in the map? This is a gas, right? Let's read this area where this doorway leads to this crypt that's down here. This is called the false crypt protected by fear gas. Before the party can enter this area, they must descend the stair and enter a slightly cloudy west passage. The tunnel is fear gas filled, and unless characters announce they're holding their breath before entering its 40-foot length, they will breathe in the gas, save versus poison, or run away at top speed for 2 to 8 turns. Beyond the first 10 feet, the gas becomes thicker and irritates the eye, so there's only a 3 in 6 chance for a character to notice the south door. Once that south door is open, the gas will dissipate. Kind of reverse of what you think would happen. It's almost like someone had triggered the trap beforehand. You see the gas, you've got to hold your breath, you get in there, you see the door, you open the door, and the gas just dissipates. So it's kind of like it's anticlimactic for some people. But the steps down into the chamber at the end are filled with webs, which can only be removed by magical fire, burning hands, flaming sword. Any character trying to break through them will become hopelessly entangled and cannot get free unless magically burned free or wished out. At the very foot of the stairway is a silver inlaid mace, which will begin to glow a bright golden light when it's picked up by any character. Whenever this weapon is swung at the pseudo-lich, it will hit. The pseudo-crypt is filled with rotting and decayed furnishings, which were once mostly costly and upon solid gold, meaning they're valuable, right? Sometimes the writing and the stuff is kind of goofy. There's a 50,000 GP couch. There's a lich-like figure with a crown on its head, which slowly begin rising and throwing up its hands in apparent fear if the mace is being carried. A booming voice will boom through the whole chamber and demand, "Who dare disturb the rest of us, Sirach? It is your death which you have found." So we got to show the graphic here now because this is the fake tomb. I remember when our players first found this, they blew their wad. They did everything thinking this is going to be this is it. This is the big fight. This is the moment we've been waiting for. It's picture 18. There's not many more pictures than that, right? You're supposed to put your thumb over them, but I don't think anyone ever remembers doing that. The purported lich is actually a magically prepared zombie with spells upon him which give him the following stats: -4 AC, 12-inch movement rate. That's the 12-inch movement rate is the standard movement rate of people in the game anyway. So it moves the same speed as a human. 32 hit points isn't a lot for level 15 characters. Attacks one time around as a 6-hit dice monster. That means he hardly will ever hit anyone that's got good armor class, but he hits for 3 to 10 hit points. That's a tricky one. There's no 3 dice you can throw that will have 1, 1, 1, 3, and then the other 3 digits give you a combination to get to 10. So it'd be 1d8 plus 2, just so you because it doesn't say that in here, right? And anti-magic charms will absorb 12 levels of spells cast before it will take any effect. Now that's the part that works really well. Someone sees this lich, you have, it's not really a lich, it's a magically prepared, zombie. Someone does turn dead and boom, the thing gets turned. You start casting nukes at it, it absorbs the spells. So that part can really throw people for a loop. It doesn't seem to be able to hit anyone. Between strikes, the zombie will gesture magically with his hands if it's readying a spell. If it's struck by the golden mace, it will make a roaring bellow, which is a magic mouth spell, and the weapon will obviously stagger it. Roll dice and shake your head. It's even telling you as the DM what to do. The third time it's struck with the golden mace, the zombie will instantly wither and disappear in a puff of dust. The mace will shatter, and in this moment the room begins to start to shake, and stones will start coming down from the ceiling. Obviously, this is in all caps. This place is beginning to collapse, but take your time detailing the rumblings, tremor, grinding noises, falling hunks of ceiling, and so forth. If the players inquire, they can see Jade Coffer, the dead monster's fallen crown, and a fine leather bag. A giveaway. It isn't rotten. Now begin within easy reach. All other items are iron, locked, etc. Now begin slowly counting to 10. And it's odds that there will be a stampede up the stairs to get away. A programmed illusion from the pseudo-crypt will give full effects of a cave-in and actual dust billowing up the stairs, while bits of stone begin to fall to the east-west tunnel and the north-south tunnel, and stairs reach from the pit. If the party runs out, ask them they thought it was too hard of a dungeon. Now, the Jade Coffer they might have grabbed it, holds 5,000 GP. The coffer itself is worth 5,000 GP. It contains 6 healing potions. The crown is begemmed worth 25,000 gold pieces. That's amazing. The small sack holds 276 platinum pieces, 29 10 GP gems, a scroll of 7 magic user spells, pretend to roll, but they're all first and second level, and a map showing a location several hundred miles away, supposedly has rich treasures. It's, of course, fake. And if it doesn't make them suspicious enough to take another run through to check things out, put the module away for them. You have it as if you have it for a different group. I wouldn't do that. I make them get out of here. Note that something so simple as a commune spell will reveal the Demi-Lich has not been destroyed. In any event, that's a spell people don't use, is commune. Look it up. Read it. I'm not going to read it to you. In any event, Sirak will see to the writing of things eventually. The only treasure left in the pseudo-crypt is a gold couch. So I thought that encounter was crazy. It's so... everything you want it to be, trust up a major fight with this guy sitting on the sofa and everything, or divan, whatever you want to call it. All the poison gas, getting to this point, actually trying to find the tomb inside of this here. It's really, really hilarious. So now we're going to go to this area down here. We need area 19 next. Has he forgotten to label this area here? It might be possible. Let me just check my old school map. Let's check the old school map. Sorry. We need to go to area 19. Yep, that's right. He forgot to label this. This is this area here with the vats in it and stuff. So let's go back to the real map. That's this area here. All right, this is the next area we're going to talk about. Are you ready? All right. Laboratory and mummy preparation room. Although there's only one item of eventual use within this totally plain and cluttered place, the volume of items within it's calculated to waste time for the players. All the walls are lined with shelves, and upon these are old jars filled with dust and impotent ingredients of all sorts. There's a large desk and a stool, 2 workbenches, 2 mummy preparation tables, clay pots and urns. These tables and floor obviously once contained unguents, ointments, oils, perfumes, maybe organs. Linen wrappings are in rolls and strewn about. Dry herbs of unidentifiable nature, bones, skulls, and like litter the workbenches. In the south are 3 vats of about 7 feet in diameter and 4 feet deep, which contain murky liquids. And there's a graphic for this one. Let's pull that graphic up. It's going to be way down here, past that trap. Here we go, with the the wall. Okay, so we'll leave that up for you so you can stare at the wall and squint. The first one holds 3 feet of dirty water. The second one contains a slow-acting acid, which will cause 2 to 5 hit points of damage per round after it comes in substantial contact with flesh. Minor contact will only cause a mild itch. At the bottom of this vat is a 1/2 of a golden key. The third vat contains a gray ochre jelly. It's a monster. 48 hit points, 4 to 16 hit points of damage due to its huge size when it attacks. The other half is the gold key beneath it. So there's a gold key in this one and a gold key in this one. This is a drawing by Sutherland. The vats are fixed to the floor and too heavy to tilt over or move. The key parts are magical and not be harmed by anything. If the parts are joined together, they form one solid key, hereafter called the first key in the dungeon. As Yasuo will harm even magical weapons, the players have to figure out some way to neutralize or drain off the contents of the second vat, as a reach in and grope for technique has a 1% cumulative chance of round being successful. Okay, let's go to the next area here, which is area 20. That's hidden behind this secret door, and we've got the huge marker on the ground here with another area leading here to area 21. All right, huge pit filled with 200 spikes. This is another graphic we want to show. That's this one right here. This is another Trampier picture. The secret door to this place is a normal sort, and we found without any undue difficulty. It appears to be filled with funerary offerings and furniture. Show graphic 21. There are 4 rotting sofas. Wait, I'm in the wrong room. Sorry, I'm reading 21. I apologize. Huge pit filled with 200 spikes. This 10-foot deep open pit completely fills the passageway and extends so as to make jumping across totally impossible for creatures. Let's show the map again. So this is this area here. It's 20 feet long. Remember, each one of these squares is 5 feet. Ergo, the pit must be crossed by climbing down and walking across, then climbing up the other side. Wrong. Any footsteps in the last 3 foot east portion of the pit will cause a volley of spikes to be discharged upwards, and each person in the pit are leaning over the edge will be struck with 2 to 5 spikes, causing 1 to 6 hit points of damage. No saving throw. Some magical means must be used to get across, for new spikes will come up where the old ones are discharged from, or they just take the damage and heal it on the other side and camp for the night. This is a detail I forgot to mention much earlier. Camping. There's no wandering monsters in this dungeon. So you could, do this the hard way, like throw a rope over and try to, get healed and take your healing potions you found in the other room, come to the other side, set up camp, and you're good to go. Now we can go to this next area that I started reading, called the Agitated Chamber. The secret door of this place is a normal sort, and it can be found without undue difficulty. It appears to be filled with funerary offerings and furniture. There are 4 rotting sofas, several throne-like chairs, vases, urns, which are denied, chipped and broken stands, small tables, braziers, all jumbled together. There's a picture for this one, too. Let's go down to that one. This is this messy room here. I'll leave that up for you while I read the rest of this junk. Only the rather plain tapestries hang on the east and west walls appear to have been spared of rough looting. There are 6 locked trunks, 24 locked coffers amidst the general havoc. The heavy trunks are empty, but the small coffers hold 1 to 3 angry little snakes again. How they live in the little jars for 200 years, I have no idea. AC 6 attacks 2 hit dice monsters, etc., etc. Then they have some. There's also gems in them, so you have a chance to roll gems in some of these little things. The thing is, the picture doesn't really show that kind of detail, so players don't usually pick up on it unless they listen carefully. The weight of the players upon the balanced floor will have set a mechanism in motion, and each round they remain in place, a d6 must be rolled. Any odd number resulting from the roll means that on the next turn, the floor of the room will jump and buck up and down violently. Each player must be rolled for with a 2 in 6 chance to fall and sustain 1 hit point of damage with abrasions and contusions. The tapestry, which appeared to, that's not something you'd have in Disney, right? The tapestry would appear to feature weed-grown rocks and green and golden tan scenes of undersea life, are especially anti-magic treated creations of green slime and brown mold. If they are torn, they instantly turn into green slime and cover each area of the player standing before them. Each covers a 20-foot long by 10-foot deep area of the floor when it falls. Covered characters turned to green slime and gone, with no recourse possible due to the amount of slime. That's not going to happen in my game, I can tell you that. No tapestries can be handled normally, but not yanked so as far to tear them. However, if any character is holding one in the room becomes agitated, it's a 75% probable that jerky motion will tear the thing. So when this was designed, they're trying to make it where, Gygax's trying to make it where like the room violently moves up and down, you can hang on to the curtain to stop taking damage. But taking only 1 point of damage isn't enough to make a player feel like they might fall to their death, so it probably would never work. If these hangers are subjected to burning, they instantly turn to brown mold and drain 48 hit points of the heat from all characters within 5 feet of the mold. There's no secret door behind the tapestry on the west wall. Okay, I've kind of burned through that one pretty quickly. I know I'm doing it fast. I'm not trying to get it done quickly. It's just that room is very uneventful and not that exciting, right? Let's look at our real map here real quickly before we move on, because I think John, in some parts of the map, he may be missing some pieces. Behind this tapestry here is the next area with the stairs that go down to area 12 and then area 12. So this is behind this. There's actually a connection. This looks like there's nothing here, like a stone wall, but behind this tapestry is a way to get down to here. So let's go down the hallway here, and we have a trapdoor in the intersection. That's fine. Trapdoor in front of a door, and down here is a standard door, a one-way door, a false door to 12. and this goes into a room 22, and this goes up to another false door, but there's a secret passage right here. So let's go to 12. So we have to go back a little bit to get to 12. There we go. Trapped false door. At this location, as well as several others throughout the tomb, there are false doors which screen a spear trap. One of these doors is open, hand the player the illustration 12. That's the one you saw earlier with the spear shooting out. And the door opens, everyone standing in front of the door gets hit. So this is another one of these spear trap doors. You open it once the spear comes out. You've learned by taking the damage before previously that you don't want that to happen to you. So now let's go to area 22, which is pretty much in the sequence of the numbers of the key of the module. Give me a minute to scroll to that page because I've got this really zoomed in on the next page so I can read it clearly. 22. Cavern of gold and silver mist. As a private joke, Assyric has caused a beautiful and good-aligned siren to be placed into this cavern under an enchantment. She must be asked to come out to break the spell, and she can give no clues as to the nature of her durance. Let's pull that one up for you. She's way down here. This is a really great drawing. This one's really fantastic. There she is. I can't remember if this is a Trampier or a Darling drawing. It probably is Trampier or someone. So the mists are silvery and shot through with delicate steamers of golden color. A vision extends only 6 feet. There's a dim aura of good if detected. Those who step into the mist must save versus poison or become idiots until they can breathe the clean air above ground and under the warm sun. So you could call this the idiot room, right? So if you breathe this stuff in, it doesn't say there's anything about a saving throw. They must save versus poison, okay? If you don't save versus poison, you become an idiot. Do you write that on your character sheet right next to your name? You just scratch it out and just replace, big block Chevy with idiot, right? At the center of the cavern is the beautiful grotto in which dwells the siren. If asked to come with the party, she will do so, stay with him through the adventure, and thereafter be their friend for life. She has the following statistics. AC 5, move 12 and 24. The 24 is in water or flying, probably. Let's just check that. She has 4 hit dice, 20 hit points, 20% magic resistance, which is great. High intelligence, spell powers as follow. Charm person by her song, +2 within all 3 feet. Invisibility, suggestion, polymorph self, each usable once per day. Any creature who the siren touches in anger must save versus poison or become an idiot, which means 2 intelligence for 5 to 20 turns. Remember, a turn is 10 minutes, so it takes 6 turns in an hour, so it's almost 5 hours of being an idiot. She has the power to cure idiocy so cause, and that of the mist by touch also. So if you talk and roleplay and talk to her and are a good party, not a bunch of chaotic evil meanies from Icewind Dale, she can remove the idiocy if that happens to you from the mist, right? There are 2 sacks of the siren, a large one and a small one, both of which will disappear if she is asked to accompany the party. If either is touched, the siren and the other stack disappear. These sacks are, this is a weird mechanic, 50 pieces of copper, silver, electrum, and platinum. It appears to be a normal sack, but it radiates magic. If it's checked, it is a small bag of holding. Filled weight, 5 pounds. 250-pound weight limit inside, 30 cubic feet of volume. That's a lot. Remember, something that's 5 by 5 by 5 is 5 times 5 times 5. That's a lot of cubic feet. So think about the size of this. How big is this for be 30 cubic feet? To determine the contents of the small sack, roll a d10, which could be 1 to 2 filled with wool, 5 pieces of jewelry, 1 to 6 potions of extra healing, 1 to 6 random scrolls, 4 to 48 base 100 GP gems, bracers of defense AC 6, ring of feather falling. That would have come in handy with that 100-foot pit, really. It's not possible to gain both the large and small sacks. If a character or character state they will grab them simultaneously, roll dice to see who touched a fraction of a second sooner. The other one disappears along with the siren forever. The siren will converse in a friendly fashion only, asking how the characters are and if they're going hard into the tomb or deeper. She will answer any direct questions with a base reply. I cannot say. That is unknown to me, possibly, until she's freed. She knows nothing of the tomb at all. So that area is kind of interesting. It's really, really different. There's encounters in the Shrine of Timoshan that have that kind of vibe happening with it. Let's move on to the next area, 23. That's 24. Let's find 23 on the original map, because I don't think John has marked it unless I am mistaken. Where is 23? 22. 23 is this description of this trapdoor area right here. So this is another false true door. Let me show it to you on the good map. So we're talking about this door here. Okay? When the party reaches this point and opens a door, it's probable they will believe it to be nothing more than a false door, but the seemingly blank wall saw sewn behind a false door hides a secret door. Note that just beyond the secret door is a secret trapdoor in the corridor floor. Right? This is this area. Sorry, I'm mistaken. This opens to a steep flight of narrow stairs which spiral down to a 5-foot passage which emerges at area 24. So let's talk about going down here, and this comes all the way up here and emerges at area 24. Now, this is the steamroller thing. So most likely the place that will be found, however, is the passage full of sleeping gas, which is reached by the east door. When the door to the north, which opens to the sleeping gas area, open, everyone in the passage will instantly collapse to slumber for 2 to 8 turns. So they're talking about this area here, I believe. Each turn, slumber, roll a d4, and if 4 results, a stone juggernaut, rather like a steamroller, comes out of the 20 by 20 room on the north, this room here, and rolls over everything and squashes to a pulse. There is no appeal. If the party is anyway destroyed, show them graphic, blah, blah, blah. Let's pull that graphic up. This is the big elephant smoosher. This one was a little ridiculous, but I'm sorry, you're getting to the late numbers here. Here we go, the elephant smoosher. So this thing comes out with its cross eyes. It's like a steamroller, and it just starts rolling towards you. What I did a long time ago with one group of my friends that played this, is another Sutherland drawing, by the way, is we when the thing came out, it roared like a huge elephant and turned the corner and started slowly moving down the hallway. And the players ended up running to the door, and I made the door magically lock, and they couldn't get the door, and they had to go push the thing again, otherwise it'd be squished against the wall. That's how I did it, so I changed it. But it's up to you how you want to run it. Now remember, if you went through this trap door and you went through this little secret passage here, this leads to yet another secret passage to 24 that then leads to this really huge room 25. And what we'll do, we're going to do 24, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do 25 and beyond. So this is called the adamantite door, this one right here. Although it is marked secret, it is very evident. The marking is simply to make certain that its actual nature is known. It has a permanent anti-magic on it, and there's no magical or physical way of forcing the entry. There are 3 slots in the door about waist high. If 3 sword blades are shoved simultaneously into the slots, a 1-foot thick panel will swing open. This is a one-way door which cannot be prevented from closing in 5 rounds. Remember, in AD&D, a round is a full minute long. So, if you and your friends are doing this dungeon, trying to figure out this thing, you describe the slots, they open the slot, they walk in the room, they've probably moved on by then, there's no one separated, this door will close back, they won't be able to exit. They might end up searching this wall, trying to figure out where the hell are we supposed to go. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with the next section from Area 26 and on. Talk to you in a minute.